Let's talk for a minute about what it means for a function to be increasing or decreasing. So this is kind of just a matter of terminology, so let me write the words. Okay, so normally the way we think of this situation is we have the graph of some function, so let me just draw a generic graph here. So here is the x-axis, here is the y-axis, and this red line is supposed to be y equals f of x. So let me label that. So this is the curve that's described by the equation y equals f of x, and f is just some function. Okay. So what we want to do, or what we want to learn to do, is to identify the intervals on the x-axis for which f is either increasing or decreasing. So just to give a quick example, let's look here. So you can see that f reaches kind of a peak here, right? And it reaches kind of a low point here. So we would say that f is decreasing on this interval, right? So we don't know exactly what these things are because this is just a general picture. Then you can see that from this low point, whatever this is, f increases until it gets over here. So we could say that f is increasing on this part. Okay. All right. So let's look at some actual functions and try to identify the areas, or sorry, the intervals on which they're increasing or decreasing. So let me go over here to graph program. All right. So this blue curve here, I don't know if you can see this, it's really small, but this is just the graph of the function y equals x squared, so this is x squared. So let's see if we can figure out where x squared is decreasing and where it's increasing. So this part in the middle here is the origin, so that's 0. And you can see that everywhere left of 0 the curve is going down, right? If I were to draw a tangent line, it would have a negative slope. So that's one way to think of what decreasing means. On the other hand, over here to the right of 0, it's increasing everywhere, right? And so it's increasing to the right of 0. So let's just write that down the way we would answer a question like this. So what is the question? The question is, where is the function where is the function f of x equals x squared increasing? So let's answer that question first. So let's see, we saw the good graph, but let me draw kind of a bad graph here. I'm just going to draw a parabola. So there's the y-axis, and here's the x-axis. And the parabola looks kind of like this. Okay. Alright, and we've already decided on the answer to the question. Okay, so let's look, where is that function increasing? That's just where it's going up. So it's going up everywhere to the right of the origin, right? So all I have to do to answer the question is to express this part of the x-axis to the right of the origin as an interval. So here's the answer. So the answer to this question is always an interval, and it's the interval from 0 to infinity. Okay. All right. And similarly, we could ask where it's decreasing, and so it would be decreasing from negative infinity to 0, and we would use the hard bracket again. So now that we've done that for x squared, let's do it for another function. Okay, so maybe I can make some space here, and let's go back and look at the calculator. Alright, so let's turn off the parabola and turn on this other function. And this one is kind of more interesting looking, right? So this is the function x cubed minus 4x. So let me write that down. So what we're looking at now is the function f of x equals x cubed minus 4x. Okay, and so the graph of that thing is right here. Now this is kind of a more interesting question, right? It does some interesting things. It's not just a big cup. So let's ask ourselves first, where is it increasing? Right? So it's increasing. You can't see. If we were to zoom out, whoa, that's zooming out a little too much. Oh, and now I've kind of lost myself, but let's go back to the origin. Okay, so it just continues to go down like this for forever, alright? So it increases until this point, and can I tell what that is? It's kind of hard. I don't know if you can see way over in the bottom left, when I move the pointer around, it tells me what x-axis I'm looking at. And it looks like it is increasing from negative infinity up until about negative 1.2. Okay, so I'm going to go enter that here. Alright, so where is it increasing? So it's increasing on the interval minus infinity up to minus 1.2. And you can make that hard or soft, it doesn't really matter. Okay, and so that's not all, right? That's only part of the answer. So there was another place where it was increasing, so I'm going to make a union sign here. And I'm going to go back to the picture and see where else it was increasing. So it also seems to be increasing from about 1.2 to infinity, right? So after this second hump here, it starts to go up and it never stops. So it's also increasing from 1.2 to infinity. So I'll go put that in my answer too. Alright, and that's it for where it's increasing. Now let's write down where it's decreasing. Where is the picture? Alright, so we decided that it reaches a peak here at negative 1.2, and it looks like it reaches a low point here at positive 1.2, so it's going to be decreasing from negative 1.2 to positive 1.2. So I'll just write that as an interval, negative 1.2 to positive 1.2. And that's it. So done. This is the answer. Alright, and let's do it one more time. This third one I have a really crazy function. So now let's use the function f of x equals x to the fourth power minus 4 x cubed plus 2 x squared plus 4x minus 3. Okay, so what does the graph of that thing look like? Turn that one off and turn this one on. So there it is. It looks kind of like a W or something. Alright, so what should we do first? Let's do increasing first. So where is it increasing? It is increasing from, what is this? You probably can't see, but my little display over here in the corner is telling me that this low point happens at about negative 0.45. And this seems to be 1. So let me go enter that in. So it's increasing from negative 0.45 to 1. Okay, and that wasn't the whole story, so I'm going to union this with another interval. Let me go back and see. Okay, so it goes down for a little bit after 1, and it starts to go up again right about here, and my display thing is telling me that this is about 2.4. So let me type that in. So it starts to increase again, and it increases from about 2.4, and it never stops. So it goes all the way to infinity. Okay, so those are the intervals over which it's increasing. And now let's see where it's decreasing. So I'll go back to the picture here. Alright, so there's this big tail of it, right? it is decreasing from negative infinity all the way over to, what did I say this point was? I think I said it was negative 0.45. Is that what I said? Yeah, I said it was negative 0.45, so I'll be consistent. So it's decreasing from negative infinity to negative 4.5, or sorry, 0.45. Okay, and then it was decreasing in another place because it's kind of shaped like a W. It also seems to be decreasing from 1 over to this point, and that point is about 2.4. Let's see what I called it. I said it was 2.4. Okay, so it's decreasing from 1 to 2.4. Okay, and that's all. Let's go back and look at the picture here. So I said it was decreasing from negative infinity to negative 0.45, and also it's decreasing from 1 to 2.4. So let's see. So here's negative infinity to negative 0.45, and also from 1 to 2.4. So great. So that's pretty easy, right? So that's all there is to those increasing, decreasing things.